Hey, everybody. We're ready. We're here. The four of us are here. We're going to start a podcast in just a minute. No bonus content. Unless anybody's got anything that they're spring on me real quick. I got to catch up on My Hero Academia. No spoilers
I watched the first episode.
of season 4.
Yeah.
Season 3. Whichever one we're on.
Of the
It's
season.
4. Okay, good. I was like, I think that's right. Is it
This
good?
is
It's a recap episode, apparently.
no. This was the episode you should be watching.
Yeah, I heard. I saw some
Oh,
people.
I'm sorry. I forgot. You're adult. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm on dub. So I don't know if they're still doing week in, week in.
God, Alex, can't you learn to read?
I can, but it's just very hard for me. Yeah, I don't know if they're still simul-dubbing it, because they usually only do that for the first couple of weeks.
Where are you at in Critical Role? Just curious.
I am campaign 1, episode like 37, 38.
Okay. When you get to episode like 74.
Yeah, hit you up.
Well, no, I'll just tell you a funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Grog at some point gets a potion that can increase his intelligence by a little bit.
Oh
like,
my
like
god!
an hour.
Does he become like?
No, it's like +2 intelligence, and he has 4 out of 20.
It's a huge bump for
him. So it's a huge bump for Grog. So anyway, he uses it for a situation, and he's got some time left later on in the day. So he's like, "Can I get Pike to teach me the alphabet while I'm still smart?"
Oh, that's so wholesome.
So Pike goes through this whole thing of teaching him 2 letters, G and R, out of Grog, trying to learn how to use his name. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to learn how to read Dwarven, but Pike teaches him Common.
Yeah.
And so anyway, then the potion wears off, and Matt's like, "You don't remember any of it." It's so fucking
I
funny.
just got to a part in the episode I'm on where they found like something written in Dwarven, and Grog's like, "My belt, it lets me read Dwarven." Yeah, exactly. It's like, if only you could read. It was so funny.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking good.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
Anyway, that was my that's immediately what I thought of when you're like, "I don't know how to read." I was like, "Yep."
I mean, Grog.
That sounds like a Grog moment.
Yeah, we get it.
Man, that show's so fucking good.
That shit is really fucking good. Cool. There's your multimedia update. I will try and catch up on My Hero Academia. I want to bounce off you guys about it, like hearing what you all think, even though you're leagues and miles ahead of us. I found my inhaler at some point, but I lost it again. So we're gonna go wild. Let's do this funky thing. I'm gonna post this in here for y'all also. Let's do it. It is Sunday, November 10th, 2019, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your podcasting host this lovely evening. And joining me, as always, we have Mr. Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Mr. Tony Horvath.
Hello.
And Mr. Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Every time I used to play video games with Blessing, when he invited me to play games with him before he was too big for me, he would introduce himself by saying, "Hello, who's there?" I always got a kick out of it. What's that from for you?
What?
What's that from for you?
Oh no, that was Blessing.
Okay, good. Blessing is the originator of all hellos.
Yeah, they just did extra live stream, so I watched a lot of that. So
yeah, they crushed it, absolutely destroyed it. I didn't get to watch a lot of the stream because I was working most of the time, but it seemed like they had a lot of fun. I picked some parts of the fun out. Go support OK Beast. They're good folks. We got a good show, a very chill show lined up for everyone today. No news, no tension, no somebody's upset about something. We're just going to talk about video games, and we're going to try and have a good time. That's my goal, at the very least.
I'm upset that I haven't played video games.
I know, Scott. We gotta get you playing some video games.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying
You're
a
good,
little
man.
bit.
You're good. I mean, we're all kind of going through it, so I get you. To varying extents, but still the same. I'm still playing Destiny every goddamn week like some kind of lunatic. So let's. I want to kick some things off, but with a little bit of housekeeping, real quick. Just a heads up: our Rational Passions Extra Life weekend is this coming weekend. We're gonna have like a full schedule pushed on Twitter. But if you want to come hang out, we're gonna do a few separated streams with some different folks. Should be like a very different kind of Extra Life, a mixed up good time, a lot of different kinds of games. George, I think, is going to be playing like old Disney games on PlayStation 1 or something. But tune in. It's twitch.tv/Rational Passions. It's going to start sometime this Friday. I think Friday around 2 p.m. Scott White's going to kick it off. And it's going to be fun. We also have a website, rationalpassions.com, that had a couple of specific things I wanted to highlight that went up this week. Jarrett Green wrote a new feature about a game called Sea Salt. And in the continued, Jarrett reviews all games that have card game mechanics in them. That's another one of those. And he seemed to have to deal with some like Cthulhu-esque bullshit while he was writing that piece, which I really appreciated. But also, just because I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight it, we had a little group discussion about WWE 2K20 go up on the website this week, which is the first official piece of Rational Passions wrestling content. And I'm told that I've made a grave error. Those are the messages that I received. But it was actually a really cool discussion. They had some of the folks from DualShockers on, and just some other folks that like and care about wrestling, to talk about the newest WWE game, which is very bad, apparently. Those are the things I want to highlight. Indie Highlights is up as well for October, and it's great. It had 3 games. I was like, I've never heard of these. I don't know how Mike finds these. Once again. And we realized with Indie Highlights throughout the year, because we've had one every month, we've highlighted, I think, 27 different games, which is really, really cool. And they're working on like a year-end Indie Highlights as well. And I'm excited to see what everything looks like at the end. Like, I'm excited to see what the big picks from the year for Mike and Scott and George, who have been working on those. RationalPatch.com. Just check it out. Let's talk about video games. Video juegos. Scott, do you remember what it was like to play video games? Do you remember the last video game you played?
I don't remember the last game he played.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less that I'm caught between a rock and a hard place when it comes to getting a new Switch Joy-Con.
Oh, okay.
So they haven't fixed drift. The cause is a mix between dust being easy to get in there and wear and tear.
Yeah.
Because dust gets in there and then it starts to tear up the pads because they're a bit soft, and then it's over.
Yeah. Game over, man.
And then drift turns into, oh hey, you can't move left anymore.
Yeah. And you're just predominantly playing like in handheld mode as well, right? So you don't really have a choice.
Right. So I've been looking at third-party controllers because in hopes that they might not have it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a big caveat with a third-party controller.
Yeah.
Can you guess what some of them are?
That they don't work.
Which parts?
I'm guessing it's going to be the analog stick, which is exactly the problem on the regular Joy-Con.
Nope.
Okay.
To give you an idea, it is okay. So you charge this thing through USB-C, right?
Great.
Makes sense.
Yep.
It doesn't charge while you have it connected to the Switch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay. So the other thing is, okay, it does do that. It does have that sort of charging mechanism. You can't. It's not wireless. You can't take it off and continue playing.
That's really weird. How cheap is this Joy-Con we're talking though?
They're about $20 cheaper,
Okay. Then like what the regular
just
Joy-Cons
on average.
are like 70, I think.
Yeah, so they're like between $40 and $50.
Okay.
So they're not cheap. They're not 30s. They're not 20s.
How often are you popping those bad boys off?
Pretty frequently.
Okay. I don't know. Like I
So
genuinely don't know.
So it's
It's a problem. do you?
I mean, there's that, but there's also a couple more where, I mean, the one that wouldn't matter to me is most of them don't have amiibo support.
Yeah. Oh, I know that's crippling for you, Scott. All your amiibo, your full amiibo set is gonna get in such a waste.
But it's stuff like that doesn't work, and I ended up finding out some of that stuff through reviews instead of the specs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Smart though. You're a smart shopper. Oh,
So it was just one of those things where I found 6 where it was missing a key feature.
Mm-hmm.
As to where it was like, I might as well just, if it's going to have this problem, and there's a good chance that they're just using the proprietary schematics for a Joy-Con itself, which could still have drift in it, I might as well get the regular one.
Yeah, or get it fixed, because Nintendo will fix it for free.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta send your Switch off.
Not the Switch, just the Joy-Cons.
Just the Joy-Cons?
Just the Joy-Cons.
You could always like use a temporary, like a wired controller and kickstand that bad boy up for a little bit, and then or not a wired controller, but like some kind of pro controller equivalent.
Right.
Just in the interim, and then once you get your Joy-Cons back, if it happens again, send them and get it fixed again. That's probably what I would do. I would do the path of least resistance. But it's easier. I have a pro controller, so I get it, and that's like a $70,000 controller. So for no good reason. It's a good controller, but I don't know if it's like $70 good. Okay. Would you say, like, are you predominantly playing stuff on Switch then? Or you're not playing on PC as much?
Well, those are the games where I would be playing new stuff.
Yeah.
Because PC has been dry for me at the very least. Because I'm trying to think of what would be on my radar to try. And I'm not coming up with anything.
Yeah, I can't. All the important games have coming out, like the Kingdom Hearts and the Sekiros and all that at this point. Like, I'm sure there's probably some cool indie stuff to check out, but like, you can get that anytime.
Right. And I'm not even worried about Game of the Year this year because
yeah, we're not doing the traditional thing, so you don't need to crunch in some games. I don't like. So you haven't been able to play Luigi's Mansion 3 at all, or anything like that, I assume.
I have it. Haven't played it.
Haven't played it. Oh, that is torture.
Because the other thing is, for Luigi's Mansion, I like to play games that I know I'm not going to put down when I have more time.
Yeah, I get you. Just try and get through it too. That's like a game that you can start and finish.
Yeah, because I'm still interested in Death Stranding.
Nice, interesting.
I'm not about to
buy a PlayStation 4 or you already have one, I guess.
Yeah, I already have one.
Not about to upend everything just to play it.
Basically.
Got it. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I would send the controllers off, and then if you want, you could probably borrow my Pro controller, just to give you something in the meantime. I'm not playing as much Switch right now, so and I can always use my Joy-Cons because they don't drift. So slot those. Yeah, until they do. I know. I'm sure as soon as Scott takes the Pro controller, it's like, why is this left analog stick not working?
Yeah, I would test it before offering to.
I mean, I play like in handheld mode in my bed every other night usually, so and it's fine there. So
okay, because I mean, even a minor drift is
crippling.
Not even something to worry about.
Okay,
but good. It's the type of drift that I have is you're not going right anymore.
Great. That's a problem.
It's like I have one less button.
I feel like I should be able to use the whole Joy-Con, but
Yeah, it's like, you know that A button you got there? It's gone.
it's gone. No,
Good luck playing Smash.
those pads aren't working anymore. Are you kidding me? So you haven't played anything this week, Scott?
Nothing too new.
Okay.
More WoW. Played a bit more League with Tony. A bit more satisfactory.
Apparently, they're dropping the level cap in WoW with the new expansion.
Yeah, going back, you drop down to 50 and level back up to 60 or something.
Yeah, so long story Classic is more popular than retail as of now.
Nice.
Even with retail having a patch dropped after Classic, not a whole lot of people went back.
Nice.
And so what they started doing is they're modeling some of the systems going forward to the next expansion after some Classic models.
Yeah.
Not 1-to-1 in any way, shape, or form, but they're taking a look at essentially how some systems used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big one they pushed is the class system, where right now you effectively have 30-something plus classes.
Jesus Christ.
It's effectively, compared to what you used to have, it is each effectively counts as a new class.
Okay.
And to make matters worse, you have pretty much 2 distinct ways to play each spell, which is AoE or single target.
Mm-hmm.
So it spreads things out for balance way too much, and then it doesn't, due to the way the game works, there's no real benefit to that kind of diversity.
Yeah, I get you.
So they defeat their point. So what they decided to do is have it closer to like the old way is your class has your class abilities. Some talents give you some new abilities, but it's mostly just buffs.
Okay. That's cool, though.
So that's nice because, yeah, losing a good chunk of your class's abilities when you switch back kind of sucks.
Yeah. I bet that make it more like Classic just has you chomping at the bit to play, Tony. It's just like, boy, can't get in there fast.
I can't wait. I'm standing outside the door. I'm like that dude pulling on the gate. Let me in!
Let me in!
Yeah, another thing they're doing is they are redoing the quests.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I would be against it if they didn't already have a terrible questing system already.
Yeah, I feel like
And
it's
so
the same too.
it was Classics is okay. They ruined it with Cataclysm.
Great.
In the sense that Cataclysm's quests were a continuation off of Classic's quests.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you supposed to, just play that second half of that story without doing the first one?
You couldn't jump in. You'd have to play through everything up until that point.
Well, Classic's not there anymore.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to do that?
Okay, so you just missed
Now you see the problem.
Yeah. You just don't do it.
Right. So it's even if you wanted to do level without dungeon spamming, you wouldn't really get much out of it.
Got it. Okay.
So, so there's nothing really to lose there. And then I think the split was 1-10 is all the old content, all the old expansions, and then the rest of the way is the new expansion.
Okay.
All the way up to 60.
Damn.
Which will be interesting.
That is really interesting. I mean, it's at least a different kind of idea. I was just curious because I heard that, and we didn't necessarily talk about it last week, so I wanted to... That is exactly... You distilled it to what I needed to know perfectly, Scott.
Yeah, I tried because there's a lot there.
There's a lot there. There's a lot going on. That's interesting. I wonder how people will respond to it. So we'll find out in like 12 years or whenever that's coming up.
Yeah, the big issue with WoW over the years is they change things to change things instead of make them better.
Yeah, I get that vibe. I feel like League of
So-
Legends does that sometimes too, like with Aurelion Sol.
That was a bit different. I believe they genuinely tried to make him better, but they just failed to do so.
We don't talk about Aurelion Sol on this podcast. It's too
Who?
soon. Who? I don't remember anyone by that name.
Friendship ended with Aurelion Sol. Rise is my best friend now.
Bridge burned. You were the guy the meme where the guy like looks back and it's Rise. Only you just left you left Aurelion Sol and went after him. Still playing League of Legends, still playing the normal stuff, Scott.
Yeah.
Cool. Satisfactory, you guys still playing that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Our schedules don't line up any more than like once or twice a week, but yeah, when they do,
It's time to get some
play.
factory time in. Yeah.
We made a new like a whole now we're more aware of like how to build things and what comes later, so we can kind of plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
And our first base we kind of just built wherever, and this base we're going to go to a certain spot and build everything on foundation from the beginning, which if you have foundation, things snap to it like a grid, so you can build things in line more easily. And since if you can build it out, and there's no gravity really in the game as far as buildings are concerned, so you can just build a straight plane of foundation out into forever if you're up high enough. And then you have one big continuous flat plane for your factory to be built on. So it made it a lot easier for us to get through it and streamline things a little bit more.
You're talking about building the sky factories right now.
Pretty much.
Nice, dude.
I mean, a good chunk of we kind of sort of respect gravity in the sense that we do build things to the ground.
You'll get there eventually. You just got to start in the sky. I like that. That's also exactly what I was thinking. That response was what I was thinking too. Now I'm shitting like, do you? Cool. That sounds cool.
No, we do. Most of our stuff the platform is on the ground.
I like the idea also of like a bunch of factories like next to each other on the ground, but they all have conveyor belts to lead up to like a flat conveyor belt above all of them, so they're all just kind of like leading in the same direction. But I don't know if you could do something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the plan.
Now we're talking.
We're building the base stuff. Once the base stuff is done, you build a platform above all the base stuff, and you lift it.
Yeah, just layer it on.
There's a lift, and you just go up.
Excellent. That's cool. Anything else you've been playing, Scott?
Nothing of note. No.
Cool. We had some stuff in there. We mined a little bit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Horvath, what you got? What you been playing?
So we just touched on Satisfactory, but yeah, we did that. Yeah, we kind of ran into some like earlier in the week, because the day that Scott and I typically have similar times we have schedules off on is Monday. So earlier in the week we got through the whole chunk of that stuff, and then we got to the point where our power generation was not enough. So that was kind of where we stopped, and then I came in the next day, spent like 4 hours and just manually crafted this massive oil to fuel to power station, and we have to go back and now like redo everything now that we have unlimited power for the most part. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of stuff to do there.
Yeah, cool. I like the kind of self-made objective, so it can work sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
What else you got?
So we did that. We've been playing some League of Legends. Mostly I've been watching League of Legends.
Yeah, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, Worlds ended today. The finals were this morning. But I'll typically watch every game from all stages at Worlds, even though I don't watch them as they get streamed. I'll go back and watch the VODs for every game just because it's good entertainment.
Yeah,
it's like watching a football game.
Yeah, I watched one with you guys and I had a great time.
Yeah.
They're shorter matches typically.
You get this massive, exactly. You get this massive dump of like 100 competitive games with professional commentary and everything, and then it's like a year before you get that again. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like binging a 100 episode series of an anime. So I've been doing that, watching a bunch of those, and kind of just hanging out while I do other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Like the ranked season in League of Legends is ending in 9 days. I've already achieved what I wanted to this season. I plan to push for Diamond next season, but I don't have time to do that now. So I figured, like, I was thinking, like, maybe I'll just play Flex, because Flex is like you can queue with a group of 1, 2, 3, or 5.
Okay.
So it's like, instead of just 1 or 2 for regular ranked, and you get a separate rank for that. And I considered doing that, and then it's just like, I don't know. I don't really feel like grinding all the way up from wherever it wants to place me up to platinum again in 9 days. I don't have time for that, so I just kind of gave up on that one.
Yeah. No, I get it. Because you worked really hard. Because you got to platinum before, right? That was the rank that you had hit before.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work too. So
it's just it takes a while. Yeah, it's a lot of games that have to be played. Even if I were to win every single game, it'd still take like from like bottom of silver or wherever my provisional flex ranking was. It'd take like 100 games. So
would you would you call yourself decent at League of Legends now?
No, I'm
Still not.
sure.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
We'll get you there someday.
Yeah, eventually. So yeah, I've been doing that, and then today, one of my old friends invited me to play a game, and I was like, okay, sure. Jumped in, and they're like, we're playing this mode called Ultimate Bravery, and I was like, what is that? And they're like, it's this website, and you go to it, and you click roll, and it just rolls a random champion with random items, random runes, a random build order, and a random skill that you need to focus first, and random summoner spells. And you do that.
Okay.
So we just go in as a group of 3 to 5 people, all using random everything, and just try and win. It's pretty fun.
That sounds fun.
Because it's like you'll be playing like a mid laner who's supposed to build like ability power, and it's like you should build this attack damage crit item. And you're like, okay. And then right after that, it's like, you should build this that only gives a little bit of defensive stats, but can disable a turret, which no one builds. It's the least common item in the entire game.
Yeah.
It's just like a weird, you try and, win with a build that makes no sense. And it's fun.
That sounds fun. I like the idea, it's kind of like the PUBG effect of like just get what you can get, or like deal with what you have and make do,
or intentionally make bad choices, because why not?
Because why not? You're here to have fun,
exactly,
not to win. You kidding me?
So we did that. Let's see, what else did we do? I played some Clash of Clans.
Mm-hmm.
Same old stuff. I'm contemplating upgrading to Town Hall 12 much earlier than expected.
Okay.
It's been like 2 weeks now it's been like a week and a half to 2 weeks since I hit, and I'm almost done all the offensive upgrades. So it's almost time to go to 12. And they announced Town Hall 13 this week, which that's an entire extra level.
That's a new thing, right?
Yeah. So back when we were playing ages ago, there was no Town Hall 12. It only went to 11.
Oh, okay.
And then like a year ago, they added Town Hall 12, which is new like siege engine mechanics and a bunch of like new troop levels and stuff like that. And now they've just announced Town Hall 13 to come out next month.
Didn't you like schedule out like through the end of January is when you're going to be getting Town Hall 12?
That was the goal, because the new hero you get at Town Hall 11 has 20 levels that need to be upgraded, and the timers line up to about 3 months to complete them if you just run them. But my guy's already level 14 out of 20.
Jeez.
Just because of how like you can boost things with the gold pass, making everything 20% cheaper and upgrade 20% faster, and it gives you magic items that you can use to instantly complete timers and stuff like that. So I've just been kind of focusing getting him upgraded, and so he's almost done already.
Hell yeah.
My queen is almost done.
My queen.
The king is irrelevant, so he'll upgrade eventually. But yeah, like that's all done, and all my offensive upgrades are done. So I've got like one army all fully upgraded in the lab, which is all you need for war. You don't need to have a whole toolbox of like 6 different attacks. You just need one good attack, you know. So I could go to 12. The only thing is, it really depends on if there's good stuff at 13 to get to quickly. I know there's a new hero at 13, which is going to be very important.
Mm-hmm.
So if the hero is any good, I'll probably rush to 13. But otherwise, I'll stick at 11 because there's nothing important at 12 that's unlocked that isn't at 11.
You're in that like super big deal clan again, right? Like
I wouldn't call it a big deal. It's just a group of friends.
they never do, Tony. Heroes never do.
It's true.
Coming through to carry the clan.
Yeah, it's just a group of buddies who, you know, Scott and I stopped playing the game 3 years ago, and they didn't.
They kept going.
Yeah, so they're all like maxed Town Hall 12s.
Yeah, they're ready for 13.
Like they can't tell their builders to do anything. It's all done.
It's all done. You've built it all.
Yeah, basically. So, you know, I'm kind of trying to catch up to them because in a group of people where everyone is the max, someone who is less than the max is pretty useless.
Yeah,
so,
I gotcha. You're almost there, though. In record time, I would say.
I mean, it could always be faster if you spent more money.
Oh, yeah, of course. But...
I was talking about it earlier today because the way that walls upgrade, the price for them always doubles. So like a level 12 wall upgrade costs twice as much as the level 11 upgrade did. And I just finished getting level 11 walls, right? They cost 2 million resource to upgrade to level 11. Level 12 is 4 mil. And then it's 8 mils for the current max, which is level 13 walls.
Mm-hmm.
Town Hall 13 will come out with level 14 wall, which may cost 16 million resources per wall, and you have 300 of them.
Oh my god.
So I calculated it earlier. I was like, so if I wanted to buy, basically, if you wanted to, you could spend real life dollars to get gems, then spend those gems directly to fill your resource storages, and then use that to upgrade walls, right? If you just brute forced your way through upgrading all 300 walls to level 13, if they cost the same doubling as they have before, throw out a number. How much money do you think it would cost to max 300 walls?
You said it was like 16 million or whatever for each wall?
16 million resource per wall.
Gee, I mean, it's like multiple trillions, like 3 trillion maybe?
US dollars?
3 trillion United States dollars.
It's the actual amount of money is like it's a lot. I looked it up earlier.
Got it. Okay, was I close?
No, it's like 8 billion or something.
Oh, okay. I way overshot it. Okay. That's so much. That's
yeah. With no context, I'm curious. So,
it's enough to fix the economy.
Resource, how much do you think? How many US dollars do you think translates to 8 billion resource?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much like 100 resources would cost. I would say like at least like $10,000 maybe.
Here's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the kicker is that the more resource you buy, okay. So like the first 1,000 is like like X number of gems.
Mm-hmm.
The next 1,000 after that is a little bit more than that, so it's like a little X plus 4.
Yeah.
You know. So as you go up, it gets like to a point, and then the bell curve starts to go down a little bit.
Oh.
So then later, it's more efficient to fully fill your storages than to buy a little. But if you're in the middle, you're kind of getting screwed. So anyway, what did you say your guess was?
It was like $10,000 maybe.
You're actually really close. It's $11,000, just under 11,000 to max those.
Wow, that's
Isn't that insane?
So much money. I mean, you make your grind game so that people can't buy their way through it. Like you did it. They did.
Yeah.
They're gonna give those
and there's
people
gonna be someone that has to have it.
Yeah.
And has the means and the disposable income.
And they get one of those in a month, and it's like, all right, there's everybody's paycheck in a month, all set.
Yeah.
Now we just make money.
There's a reason why Supercell is one of the has always been the most profitable mobile company. I'm pretty sure that.
I think
but
so.
Yeah, man,
they're up there.
So,
at least.
Anyway, that's Clash of Clans. I mostly just grind between to de-stress while I'm working, you know.
Gotcha.
And then when I'm at home, I might run a couple attacks and then keep my upgrades going.
Cool.
So they did that, and then one other game that
Yeah.
I was playing this week. It's a cute little game that I purchased for the Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's called My Time at Porsche.
Oh yeah, I've played a little bit of My Time at Porsche.
Yeah, and people apparently there is no correct pronunciation for the last word in that title.
Okay.
Some people in the game call it Porsche. Some people call it Portia.
Yeah.
Some people call it Porsche, and I like the pronunciation that is the same as the car brand.
Yeah. Why
so
not?
that I can say, I'm playing my time in my Porsche. I'm hanging out in my car.
That's what you got. That's what.
Yeah.
Thought real long and hard on that one. I'm playing my time in Porsche.
In Porsche. Yeah. Someone calls me like, "Hey, dude, what you doing?" "Oh, I'm in my Porsche."
My Porsche. I'm spending time there.
Yeah.
What do you think? I like it playing on
I
Switch.
hate the graphics, but I like the game.
Yeah, playing on Switch, I would say is probably a little rough. That was the place I first played it. Load time.
No, I mean, it's not the technical limitations of the graphics. I hate the art.
Yeah, the art styles. Yeah.
But I like the mechanics and the writing and the systems in place. I think I think a lot of the stuff that the game allows you to do, and I like kind of them taking a different approach to the farming sim thing is really cool. I think it's really like Stardew plus.
Yeah.
Stardew had a very terrible art theme.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of.
No offense to people who like that. I'm sure artists did a really people like that art style. I'm sure and the artists who put it together, you did a great job achieving a vision. It's just a vision that I really don't like.
Does not jive with you.
No.
So
but I can kind of look past that for how good the rest of the game is.
It reminds me a little bit of Fantasy Life, in like how it lets you kind of do. You don't necessarily have to spend all your time farming and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it is time gated too, because your resources have to be processed, and the processing doesn't take your energy; it takes your time. And then you've got space. You have to figure out like you can only fit so many things that can process something in your space. So you have to balance what things you spend your space on, because you want to produce a bunch of bronze. You're going to need a couple bronze things processing all the time. That's going to take up a certain amount of space.
Yeah.
So you're mostly gated by that, and that's kind of the logistics thing you have to play.
Yeah, I'm curious. Keep me updated on how you feel about it, because I think I just when I tried it, it was one of those things where I kind of bounced off of, and I didn't really have anyone that could help with it or that was also playing it. So
yeah, I just have to try and get. I just had to try and disconnect completely from the fact that the game looks terrible.
Are you both on Switch?
I have it on Switch. Yeah,
it's single player only though, unfortunately.
I appreciate that, Scott. You're looking at that. I also, it's on Game Pass, so I also just inherently own it on Xbox One, and the load times are better there, so I might be.
Single player only.
It would have to have multiplayer to have crossplay, but
yeah, it's true.
I appreciate you're trying to wiggle in there. I get it. Cool. Keep me posted. I want to know as your time in Porsche, in your Porsche.
Yeah, in my Porsche.
Nobishin. Wait, Tony, is that all you've been playing?
I think so.
Okay, if you think so.
Anything else was so unimportant that I forgot about it.
Got it. Brian Nobishin Jackson, have you played anything that isn't Death Stranding this week?
Not really. Did more Danganronpa, like on the last trial of that. Well, I'm on the last investigation, last trial.
Okay.
The last part. Find the last clues, reveal the school, revelation.
That game is like kind of long, right?
Yeah, it's like 30 hours.
Yeah. What a great goddamn video game.
Like Time to Beat said it was 24 hours, but I guess you would have to skip through a lot of stuff to get to that point.
Yeah, you'd have to be mashing that button, I bet.
Yeah, so.
It's not what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that. I checked out Terry in Spanish. He's everything I wanted him to be.
Yeah, tell me
more.
Tell me about your vibes on Terry, because I'm less familiar. Obviously, I haven't actually really played him yet. I just booted up and took a look at him. But like I watched that presentation Sakurai did. It was really great. It was cool for me of like someone who doesn't necessarily care about that character of like, oh, this character is still like I want to play and is really fun looking and is really like obviously well done and all that. How do you feel about him?
I mean, I feel like he's like what Ken and Ryu are in that game, just like more, not more fleshed out. I don't think that's the right word, right phrasing to say it, but like giving more attention to in a weird way. Um, because like he's basically have the same stuff like as far as like Hadouken does his like power wave and stuff like that, and or his burn knuckle, I should say,
Yeah,
and like
they got input commands and stuff that you can do to do more powerful moves.
yeah, so it's the same as Ken and Ryu, but like he's just a little bit more involved as far as like having like his side B being like not only his burn knuckle but his back B being like crack shoe, so it's two different inputs. He's the only character that has that. Yes, like when he's at 100%, he could just do these his power gazer and like Buster Wolf like anytime he wants to. Um, obviously his special's real good. His stages is amazing. Like
Stage is really cool.
yeah, it's the love and attention to detail. Is like I just really vibe with him. I think they did a fantastic job with him.
Would you say he's the best character they've done so far?
I think objectively, yes. Subjectively, probably not.
Okay, I like that. I because I appreciate like he's got like cancels and stuff like this is like a they really put a fighting game character just in Smash, and I think like that's part of it. Of like Sakurai knows somewhere in his heart like people don't necessarily consider Smash a fighting game. A lot of people don't, even if they're wrong.
They're not wrong. It's a party game.
But I like that anytime that they are like drawing on the big boys, they are always like, how can we incorporate the aspects that make that game unique into this game and make this game more unique? And he's always challenging himself to do stuff with that, and I think that's really cool. You can tell
I think there's a lot. Yeah, I think there's a lot of more personal love with this one too compared to like, the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
At least it really seemed like it, especially like his stage, like as far as like all the characters being in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there's a level of like care that you can just tell for that one, like because like when you compare it to like something like Persona, with Joker, like like it went above and beyond, but like it's the above and beyond that like was expected. This is like above and beyond that was like completely unexpected. I would say.
Yeah, we're gonna do a 45-minute presentation. Don't worry, we'll fill it all with Terry Bogard stuff. Like
yeah, exactly,
one of those
exactly, yeah, exactly. Joker was maybe like 10, 15 minutes, and like his was 45,
and it blew my mind. Like I'm not complaining that his was short or anything. It was like sitting there when they showed like the Persona 3 version of the stage. It's like what? And like sitting there, and Sakurai's like, I remember playing Fatal Fury when I was growing up, like under his breath, like while he's playing, and the translator's trying to like, I don't know how to go with this. There's like this emotional attachment that Sakurai has there. And I think like he certainly has that for everything, but like you could tell Terry is something special. Like he wanted to do this really bad.
Yeah, and like even with the my situation, like it was that was more of like a translation thing that like people were just running with as far as like the good boys or girls. Like it's more for just a rating thing, which I assumed it was already.
Yeah,
but like but like I could tell like he was actually kind of upset that he couldn't get Mai in there either. So like. Like he has everything else, and that's like the one thing he can't get. And like that's like one of those like obsessive things. I'm sure of all people Sakurai, it's just like fuck, man, come on.
He was
man,
probably
really?
like the day they made that decision, he was just like pissed that whole day. But he's a perfectionist. Like that's inherent to what he wants to do. And he knows. He brought it up. Like
exactly. The fact that he even brought it up is like the thing. Like.
He was speaking to you in that instance.
Yeah, exactly.
And the folks that are like, man, I love Fatal Fury.
Who's mine? Let me search her on the internet. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Sakurai, you were right. Yeah. No, totally. I haven't played him that much yet, like I said, but I love what they did. It's really cool. Have you checked out Terry Bogard, Scott, in Smash Brothers? I guess you probably haven't played anything on Switch, just so never mind. He's cool. Did you do his like classic mode and all this stuff?
Oh yeah, like usually when a new character comes out, I just do the classic mode and like just get a good feel of them. Like I do that with like every DLC character. I still haven't really done the spirit things. Like that's the thing with Smash Ultimate. Like as much as I love the game, like I just didn't really connect the spirits personally. So like I still haven't beaten that mode at all. So that's just like big.
Oh, like the adventure mode or anything?
Yeah, the adventure mode or even just getting the stickers with the characters. So.
Yeah, I like the thing is I didn't know about the spirit board add-ons until Banjo came out. Like I just totally missed them. So I had too much, I would say, by the time I jumped into there. But if I had like known about them, I would have been doing them with the release. But yeah, I get it. It's not. It's like it's one of those things. It's pretty polarizing. I think of like you get into it and you're like fine with it, or you just like bounce right off. So, but the classic mode stuff is still great, and there's enough attention to detail in that mode alone that I think makes it worth it. Watching like if folks listening have not watched, you should watch the stream presentation that Sakurai did for Terry Bogard. It's like 48 minutes or something. Watching him play through classic mode on like the hardest difficulty and like him like
let's see if I can get to 9.9.
Let's see if we can do this. But like also him like trying to look good and like show the character. Like he has such a he seems like one of those people that he's very good at the game, certainly, but like he also cares so much about like the performance of it. It's really cool. It was like because we got to spend a little bit more time with him there, and he got to play through classic mode and like had a few mishaps and stuff like that. I feel like I just know Sakurai better as a person, and I appreciate him infinitely. He's very jolly.
Who's this last character, Alex?
Who's the last character?
Because A, it's got to be announced at the Game Awards.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel, and like B, like because I feel like when the next season of characters that he'll introduce is like it won't be as impactful as this set has to be. Apparently,
I think so.
Like, so what's that character has to be? Do you think personally, just one shot, just one character?
I'll say I don't think it's the Doom Marine. I think that's optimistic. A lot of that's still like one of those rumors out there. I don't know. Like for me, like because it's one of those things that people have been asking for, and I've been asking for a long time, and it would be fun just to see it happen. Like something like Gino would be really cool. And I think that would fall into like it's still kind of third party, and like Nintendo doesn't own that character to some extent at the very least. And I feel like this pass has been like the pass of dream, the game, the season pass of dreams type thing. So I think like pulling together like this thing that people have wanted for so long.
I think that's weird to say that because like I think it is, but I think it isn't at the same time.
Yeah,
like
it's surprises on top of that, right? Like
because like I don't think people will. It's weird to say, but like I don't think people ask for Hero, but like I think that's an awesome addition and like it should have been happened type of thing.
Yeah, and they'd certainly ask for like Dragon Quest representation. Like Erdrick was like what we assumed, and he made it in there in one shape or form. So like I think taking what people want and like modernizing that and distilling that down into something new would be cool. And I think Gino would just be great. Like I think like weirdly like or something from that era. Like I think Chrono from Chrono Trigger would also be really, really cool.
That would be huge.
But then it's like that's another
from Paper Mario in general.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Mr. L as a skin.
Yeah, Mr. L or like a Paper Mario character. But I don't think they'll do that for this pass. Maybe that's something they might get into with the next one, like other Nintendo characters and stuff.
I feel like it has to be third party, and I feel like it has to be like from another company that it's like
somebody
just another
outside
third party company
of what they have right now. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know. What do you have a guess?
I mean, like if Hero wasn't in there, I would definitely say like without a doubt it'd be Sora, but like I just don't know who it would be at this point now.
It's true. Sort
Like
of,
I
sort
don't
of
know what's the
fun.
other company that could be there, like other than like probably Ryu from Ninja Gaiden, but I don't know.
Or like I'm trying to think of like I feel like Microsoft would be cool, but like they kind of already did that with Banjo, so but like something bigger. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is like it's not that I don't know because I feel like there's nobody good that they could pick. I feel like they could just get whatever they want. like
Oh, for sure.
They are in such an influential position with Smash Brothers in particular, where like just about any developer would love to see their character in that game. I think so. It is really could be anybody, and that's awesome. Like we were so sure of like these things before Game Awards last year of like these are good DLC picks for characters, and then like with that first character they changed everything. And they continually evoke that feeling. Like the maybe safest character is like Terry Bogard, but even still, like they, like you said, above and beyond, like with everything else, they got the Microsoft partnership. Like they made that happen. They got Joker. They got Dragon Quest representation. We have all the big Japanese franchises I think seen in a big way. I'm sure there's plenty more, but they can just do whatever it is. I'm gonna be stoked about it. So at this point, I'm just along for the ride with everybody else. We're gonna do a podcast ultimate reunion after they announce the last character to talk about like what we think the next set of characters are gonna be, how we think they've done so far, and all that. So I'm excited. But yeah, Sora is a good pick too, but I just don't know.
I just think it can't be just because of we already have a Square character.
We have two Square characters.
Well, not only that, but you also have to take that up with Disney too.
Yeah, I don't know how much Disney has to say in that, and I don't know how complicated that gets.
That would be a third pillar, I would think. Because like that, I'm just thinking, literally, what I'm thinking in my mind, like what's in my mind right now, just looking at the copyright thing at the bottom, seeing like the companies at the bottom, and I can see a / Disney right there, just to have more in there. So,
God, I mean that would be like a flex for sure. But we'll see. Anything else you've been playing outside of Death Stranding?
Played Lion King.
Hold on, we didn't talk about Death Stranding though, did we?
No, not yet. We're getting there. I just want to
Okay.
check all the other boxes off first. The Lion King, the Genesis version or whatever, whichever one's more popular.
I played the Super Nintendo version of that one.
Cool. Is it good? Is it too hard?
No, that game is bad.
Yes.
That game has always been bad, but it was a game I rented all the time just because it was the Lion King, and I only got past like the certain part of the level, but like as soon as you come to adult Simba, like it gets stupid hard, like stupid hard. Not that it wasn't hard as a young Simba, but like the adult Simba was just like almost impossible with that game. But I beat it for the first time.
Nice.
So, there you go.
You're a pro gamer now. Congratulations.
Hey.
Let's talk about Death Stranding.
You can ask me 4 questions about Death Stranding.
That's it? That's all I get?
That's all you get, because like I play. See, this is the thing. And I still stand by, like, yeah, I'm into the game, but like I played maybe no. I played 2 hours of this game, and by saying I played 2 hours, I played 20 minutes, and by saying playing 20 minutes, that like I watched the rest of it were pretty much cutscenes.
Yeah.
So like I pretty much just got past seeing Dead Man, and I got to the surface again, and that's it. So okay. I'm nowhere in the game. I'm literally nowhere in the game. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can ask me 4 questions.
Sure.
Then I'll have to pay attention so you can bounce off somebody.
Okay, cool. How do you feel about Death Stranding? Question number 1.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I got good vibes from it. It's something I completely expected. Yeah, I didn't expect at all.
Yeah.
Pretty much like immediately, like as soon as you start playing, and then like you can see that you have to pick up a briefcase. I'm like, okay, and then you see how you have to pick up the briefcase. I'm like, okay,
yep.
And then you have to see how you have to keep your balance as you keep walking. I'm like, oh, okay, like this is definitely something different.
Mm-hmm.
And then like but like doing that, and then like the music kicks in, and like and then like you're just treading along, you're hearing the music while you're just like walking around this world. like the vibes from it, at least so far, I'm really just like jiving off of. I'm really liking. And even like the stuff, like when you get your BB and stuff like that, like that stuff looks cool. Like it's stuff I've seen before because of like trailers and stuff like that. But like I'm actually paying attention because like like what's going on and stuff like that. And it's like
And context is super important, which is like now that we are in it, right, in the post like I've played this game world, it's like, oh, they mostly showed just like the beginning of this game in all the scenes that they showed, all the trailers, all the 8-minute trailers were just cutscenes from pretty early on in the game. But like knowing the grand story that they're telling, like the world that they're building, and the kind of more small story that they're telling with Sam, like the through line, it's like, oh, I get it. Like this makes more sense in context.
But like the reason I'm limiting you to 4 questions is because I still don't know jack shit about the game. Like I still don't even know if combat's still in the game. So I'm just chill trying to go through it with open eyes and stuff like that. Like I just haven't had time for it, honestly.
Yeah, I have a feeling like a lot of people listening are maybe somewhere on the line or have just started it themselves as well. So like we're just a couple days after the game came out, so I'm trying to think. Knowing where you're at helps. How do you think Death Stranding feels, like that walking and all the movement aspect to it?
It's something I can see like might eventually get tedious, but like I said, right now it feels good with me. Keeping your balance as far as like going like these very steep hills and stuff like that. While just carrying this stuff, like it's so different just because like that's what's this intriguing me because it's so different. It's like what it's asking for me, and like I said, what it asked. Like I said the stuff before, like with Red Dead and like with Last Guardian, like they asked you as a player to do this stuff, and like you're either in it or you're out of it. And like right now I'm just like in it just because like I just don't know what to expect with this game. Like it's such an unknown thing as far as like I don't even know what's going to happen next. Like it's like I don't even know if this is the entire game. This walking around delivery stuff. Like obviously there's more because of like the whole BB stuff I just saw with all that stuff. So like I'm very intrigued to see like where that goes and stuff like that. But like
I just got to the first part of where that goes. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah, like seeing Fragile for the first time too. Like she seemed like an interesting character. Like the rain that like turns people old. Like that's something weird. Yeah. So, so like yeah, I'm just in it just to be surprised and see where it takes me right now.
Sure. I think those are the only questions I have. I guess I don't want to steer you too hard in one opinionated direction either. Like I think it's good to just like see what the game shows you and take it with a grain of salt. I think I love Death Stranding. I'm like 17 hours into it, which is like, if you really think about the time since that game came out to now, is like, how did that happen? Poor decision making is the answer to that question. Yeah, like I don't necessarily want to spoil too much about it. I'm not going to ruin anything here, but it is a game about delivering packages to some extent, and I really like it. Like we talked about it last week, but the idea of a game where it's not necessarily all about killing stuff sounds kind of cool, and I know that sounds like super like like, oh, you're just looking for, like games are about murder, like you're just being dumb, like or I think there's like some folk that kind of respond with that like gut sucking in feeling, but it's I think that's really important, but moreover, like this is like a big a lot of money was spent on this game, pretty video game, like AAA video game that is not about killing things, and I like it. That's cool.
Real quick, I would like to commend to the performances of the game too, at least a little bit that I've seen so far. Like you know, like when you normally when you see somebody in a movie or stuff like that, you just see him as the person playing that character. But like I think Norman Reedus does a really good job just
He kills it, yeah.
playing it as Sam. I just forget like who he is as the actual person. That's the character. It's just like, man, I'm really engaged with this right now.
And
So.
he kind of has like a look too, like when he ties his hair back and everything. I don't know if you've seen him tie his hair back yet, but like he has a look that's like, this looks like a kind of a different. This is a different vibe than like the look that Norman Reedus as a person puts off. And I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I think what's great too, and I like for me, a lot of this is like, this is a Hideo Kojima video game. Like, I don't know if you're having a lot of those moments as well.
Oh yeah.
But I love that, and I like the more I see stuff like that of like kind of this melodramatic scene that happens or whatnot, or like weird eye contact or stuff like that, or like a shot that's like, this seems like a weird camera shot that you could have fixed because this is a video game, but you didn't. Stuff like that like is very Kojima, and I just like that. Like I like seeing, he's like one of few people that does, like him and Sweary, I feel like do a little bit of that. And just a lot of creators don't do that in video games to add a level of kind of intentional awkwardness. But like he does it very well. Yeah, I'm with you. Sam is great. I also had the thought of like, this is such a Kojima protagonist. And I don't know if you had that same thought of like, I get the vibe, the Solid Snake vibe from this. Very different personality, and like I think Sam is a little bit more like, he'll stand up for himself a little bit more, of like, you know, fuck off and you don't give a shit about me anyway. Like he'll just straight up say stuff like that, and I appreciate that. Like I feel like Sam is not like being hoodwinked into this. Like he knows it's bullshit, but he also knows it's important, and I like that. Like he's a person that gets it done, and they form that kind of like the foundation of that personality really well and really subtly. I think some of the other characters probably not as strong. Some are a little lame, like Die Hardman, which is just a great name. But like I appreciate like him in particular. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like there's a meditative quality to Death Stranding. I know some other folks that have reviewed it probably have used that same verbiage out there, but like, it's a lot of like, I'm going from this point to this point because I have to deliver these packages, and maybe it's a lot, maybe it's a little, maybe it's heavy, maybe it's not. Maybe I'll find some lost packages along the way, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just about like, how am I going to get there? You know, there's no written way to get there. There's no set path. You can kind of climb over mountains. You can kind of try and find a dirt road or things like that. And I find a lot of satisfaction in just like looking at the map and looking at my path and where I need to go, and like, all right, now I just got to figure out any way to do it, and do it my own way. And sometimes that's like ladders going down like huge cliff faces, or making little ladder bridges to walk across like precarious ledges, things like that. But there's just like the gameplay loop of like, you have a package, take it here, like figure out how to get there and deliver it is really, really great. And it's one of those things like to what you said, Namishan, of like, oh, I gotta hold these shoulder buttons to like hold myself, and like there's a kind of tactile feeling to that that's really unique and nothing like I've felt. And there's not too much of it, right? Like they didn't go full Red Dead where you have to pay attention to all these different meters and bars and everything. Like there's kind of like one meter you look at, and like a little bit of that realism of like holding on to yourself while you're going down steep hills and whatnot. And that's really it. And it like, I think they just nailed the balance between like, we're going to go for something hyper realistic, and something like, video gamey to some extent. Like it feels immersive. Like it feels like the things that they're doing are immersing me in the struggle of the character. But they also don't get in the way of me having to do what I have to do. It's just stuff I got to think about, you know? Like I'm just thinking about things in a way of like, I'm a dude about to go on a big hike. Like honestly, like how are my boots looking? Should I make new boots? Should I put on, like, 'cause your boots wear out? and it's like the only thing that wears out. But it's like, all right, let me just make some new boots. I'll take
check out my shoes real quick. If I got tread or what?
am I getting tread on this? Let me take a nap to like refill my stamina. And yeah, like I don't know. I think there's just like a really simple, great loop. And that's like mostly what I want to say right now. Like there's like the kind of like, I don't want to say multiplayer because it's not multiplayer, but like the community aspect of the game, which you probably haven't seen any of that yet, Namashin, is like there was a moment where I was blown away by something because like it was something that some other player in their own world had done. And I don't like necessarily want to take that because I was it was like not early in the game, not deep in the game, but somewhere in the middle. Like that's like somewhere in the middle points. And I saw that I was like, oh wow, like I didn't know that you could do that. But like in loose terms, it is like if somebody drops a package, right? It'll just, if they get too far away from it, it'll just kind of travel into another player's world. And it's like you can finish their delivery if you want, and that'll help them. Or you can you can kind of pick it up and just take it halfway along the way, and somebody else can pick it up from there and take it the rest of the way. Things like that. And it, like again, it's just like this we're all working together type vibe. It's a little hokey, in the same way that like Kojima's ultimate message about like nuclear war in Metal Gear Solid was told in a kind of hokey way, but like there is a very heavy-handed message here, but it's like very earnest. Like there's no part about me playing this game, having played Kojima games for years and years and years, where I'm like, I don't believe this guy. It's like I get it. Like this is a game about connecting people back together via the internet. And also like taking packages to people. So I really like it. Everything about it is jiving with me, and the gameplay loop is just complicated enough that, and it's not like I'm doing the same. You are essentially doing the same thing, but like you can get different tools that'll make that easier, or like you can ride a bike at some point, stuff like that. Like it evolves to some extent as you play it.
Does it have sick wheelie mechanics?
You can do a wheelie.
Shit.
I don't know how sick they are.
Well, as the official Irrational Passions sick judge.
It's true. At least for this.
Which, by the way,
yeah,
every jump in that thing was what he counted as a sick jump.
That's not true.
Every
That's
single.
not
We
true.
will find.
That is not the official. We will wait for the bet segment.
We will wait for the bet segment.
I was saying you did it, man.
But yeah. So like it evolves. You're not like you have more things available to you that will make the job easier or harder. But like I don't know. It's just great. Like you'll go do a mission, and then maybe like the creature, the BTs will show up, and it's like now there's like you just have to pay that much more attention and be more careful. And like it's kind of stealth, kind of not. Like it has stealth in it, but it's not all about stealth. You can run through those areas at your own risk, stuff like that. And again, like I appreciate everything has context. Like, oh, you can come back to life. Like, oh, there's a lore tab for that. You know, like we got you covered. Like stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm having a great time. I am like overwhelmingly positive about it, but it's all at the arm's length of like playing it and me enjoying it. I do understand that there are probably a lot of people that wouldn't like a video game like this.
Oh, for sure.
Like Damien, my best friend, he always like talks about how Red Dead has busy work in it, and he hates busy work. I'm like, this game is literally busy work. It is literally you are a delivery man taking packages. So like I sat down and played through the first 2 hours with him through the first BT mission. I don't know if you got that far.
No.
But it's probably like the next thing that you're doing. But he like just getting like a little bit of the variety of like, okay, you're gonna go there, and now like it's playing a licensed music, which I think is really cool. And it's very much when that happened, I was like, all right, Kojima. But like the third or fourth time it happened, I was like, all right, like I'm just here to chill, listen to music, and walk over like this really beautiful landscape. And he played through it, and by the end of it, he was like, in the middle when he was like delivering a package, he's like, I don't know about this. But by the end, he was like, I see like there's a lot going on here, and it's cool. I would say like as far as like the confusing story and everything, like it reminds me a lot of like I kept thinking of like a Christopher Nolan movie of like you just kind of jump into the story and like we're gonna tell you a story from front to back about like these characters, and then you'll pick up, it will trickle in the lore as you go through it, that's really it. Like all this weird stuff is happening, they don't really tell you why, but you kind of pick up why along the way. Like it doesn't, you just got to pay attention in a similar way than to like a Nolan movie or something like that. Like what's the we are arriving in media res, so things are happening and we are just jumping in, and we just gotta stay with it. I'm really curious to see what you think in the long run here, Nalmashin. And I'm obviously gonna stick with it and keep playing it. So,
what is your favorite open world loop game?
Breath of the Wild. And you know what? This game reminds me of Breath of the Wild more than any other open world game. So just take that with you, what you will.
Cause I'm thinking like the way you're talking about it reminds me a lot of what I loved about Final Fantasy 15.
It totally 15 was the other thing I got those vibes from, because like I liked 15's world, but there wasn't really a reason to explore it. I think Death Stranding has some better reasoning to explore it, but like that stuff is not readily available to you at the start of that game. I think it, like, weirdly enough, of the things I was going to say about it, I think it's really well paced. And I know that might seem weird for you, having like not gotten to the quote unquote good stuff. But like I feel like the cutscene to like what you get to do and introducing something new, and then like a new story beat, like maybe a new character gets introduced to the story, or something happened, like dramatic happens or whatever. There are not a lot of those, but they're sprinkled in throughout in a way that carries you from one thread to the next.
To be clear, I'm not someone who like criticizes Kojima about like stuff like that. I'm in for that type of stuff when he does like,
but I was
seats or whatever.
I was surprised that like at how well it was broken up, right? Like I the longest amount of time you spend like watching a single cutscene for me, I think, has been that beginning section. And that's more like there are little bits of gameplay between them, very short, but like that's more just, it's so much back to back. And they like I mentioned like the BB stuff has kind of I've started getting more information on that, like that plot thread is carrying on. It's like that happened at like a really great point in time where I was kind of like wrapping up another thing that was going on, and it's like, okay, and then like they surprised me, and I was like, oh, we're talking about this now, and then like a bunch of stuff happened that I was not expecting. And to know that, like, I feel like I've seen a lot of this game, like playing it now, to know that there's still stuff that it like genuinely took me back, like, oh, we're doing this and this is happening and this person's here, like all those kinds of things happen pretty frequently and are really fun. Like they're really surprising and really great every time they do. It's weird that you talk to a lot of holograms. But that aside, that's Death Stranding. I think those are good first impressions of Death Stranding. Talk more extensively and explicitly in the future, hopefully. Any other last minute questions about Death Stranding option?
No, I'm good.
Cool. I think that's it for. Well, I played a little bit of other stuff. Weirdly enough, I played a little Dragon's Dogma this week. I'm just, somebody stop me.
On the Switch?
On PS4.
Okay.
And I actually.
I mean, like, what if I told you that the game wasn't that good, and you could be playing Death Stranding instead, which is that good?
This was before Death Stranding came out, so this was like Wednesday in that time frame. So that was a thing that I started doing. And I had never really like leveled at all in that game, so I had a good time.
Have you finished Fire Emblem?
I've not. No, I haven't even played it. These are good. These are very good questions, Scott. And you're asking very challenging questions that I'm gonna have to think about for a long time.
Have you unwrapped Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Yeah, but listen, it's coming out on Switch in January. Hear me out. If I could make it to there, I could complete the loop.
How are you looking on Luigi's Mansion?
Almost done. Because I had to restart the game. Because we played on Mike's Switch. So I'm almost back to where I was in Luigi's Mansion. I've been playing.
Did I do a good job?
You did a good job. You did it good.
You're not gonna play that anymore?
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna play any more of these bad other old games. I'll play Luigi's Mansion, Death Stranding.
Yeah, rephrase it to old.
Old games. No, good games. Old games. I'll try and play more current stuff. A little bit of the Destiny 2 update this week. Did not play as much because other stuff was going on, but. That they, normal stuff. They added Iron Banner. They added, I think, a new exotic thing this week too. But just chipping away, having a good time on that. They changed how like leveling works in the late game to make it a little bit easier, which I don't think they necessarily needed to do. I thought it was fine, but I guess enough people complain about it that they're doing it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Death Stranding mostly this week, having a great time, really loving it. It is really it is an Alex O'Neill-esque video game, to be fair, in a similar sense to like how Breath of the Wild was and how like Tetris Effect was last year and whatnot. But I think there have just been layers of like, do I like this? Oh, I like this. Do I love this? I don't know, but I think I might. And like, all the while I'm having those feelings, everybody's just shitting all over it. So it's like, it's tough. Like none of
With what game?
Death Stranding. Like all the other 3 of the editors that are playing it in Slack are all playing it and they don't like it. And I'm like, okay, I like it. And I again, it's not a thing where I'm like, well, you're wrong for not liking it. I do get it. I totally do. But it's like, I'm watching the amount of people that I can talk to about this game, just like that number just tick down. So yeah, I think it's easy to make a joke about it. I think there's a lot of things that are silly and dumb and arguably even bad about it. But I also think it's really cool. So that's my 2 cents. That's it for video games. I did not pull any questions this week, but I do want to let everybody know we're not going to be here next week. We're going to take the week off. We're going to have a few extra live streams going throughout Saturday, like I kind of mentioned at the top of the show. So just as a reminder, twitch.tv/Irrational Passions. You can go check that out this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll be doing stuff for Extra Life, just playing some video games. I'm sure people will be hanging out and would appreciate you coming to say hi. So if you're listening, go do that. But let's close out the show. If you like the show, you should follow us on Twitter, Irrational Pod, Instagram, Irrational Passions. It's also Irrational Passions as a whole. We do a lot of cool stuff. The articles I mentioned earlier, getting ready for Game of the Year. Thinking about what could it be. Some other stuff, if you like this, rating us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it now, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. Check out RPG University. Right now it's our only other show that we're running through the end of the year, and it's great. Scott White hosts it. He talks to bunch of awesome guests about their favorite RPGs. He just had Caitlin Gleesrow on to talk about Dragon Age, which was a hootenanny of an episode, apparently. It went up on N7 Day. I'm sorry your dreams are dead, Namishin. I still love you. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, irrationalpassions.com, place to be. I figure since we're taking next week off, we can not do a bet.
It's going to be the Game Awards thing anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably get like the fill in the gaps on that over that area that week. So bets this week is just last week's bet. Also, we've reached the end of the show, which means it's time for bets. Last week's bet. Very, very excited to know where we're gonna fall on this. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Tokyo 2020 Games comes out November 5th. It came out. Is it good? Do people like this game?
It's like a 7, swimming in 7s.
Okay, I'll take it. In the launch trailer for the game, how many sick, in quotes, jumps will we see? I said 2. Nubshin said 2. Jarrett, who voted for Tony, said 7 because Tony's picking the amount of jumps for us. And Scott said 0. Tony, you have already determined a number of jumps.
I have.
What is that number?
So do you want my reasoning behind the number?
I want take me through your process.
Okay, so I define sick jumps in this circumstance by two rules. Okay. Rule number 1, and this rule is going to stay the same for all determinations about all sick jumps for all eternity.
Okay.
Luigi is incapable of performing a sick jump.
Okay. You know what? That's fair.
He's one character that is not capable of making any jump sick.
He can jump, they just can't be sick.
Yeah, exactly. He has the hops. They're just not sick hops.
Got it.
And for this game in particular, this trailer in particular, my second guiding factor was, is the jump sick by definition of the game? So I went through the trailer frame by frame, and I looked for any determining mechanism or visual cue that a jump performed was by game mechanic.
Okay, like a little spark or something like that.
Sure, or just a determination or something like that. So if you're looking at the trailer, right, the trailer starts, the first game that is showcased is like this kind of like skateboarding game.
Mm-hmm.
They go off a jump, and 4 characters perform a sick jump.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Off that first jump. They get the little sparkle. They do the Mario Kart like twirl with the rainbow sparkle.
Got it.
So 4 sick jumps right there, right? The trailer progresses, and then it goes to a ping pong session. Luigi does a special jump, but he is incapable of performing a sick jump.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't count. However, the person playing Luigi in the next segment where Luigi performs a sick jump, she does a jump, the actual player.
Uh-huh.
And she gets her legs up really high and reaches to the sky.
Uh-huh.
I counted that as a sick jump. It
cool.
was pretty sick.
5 jumps.
So we're at 5 jumps so far.
Uh-huh.
And immediately after that, Luigi does another pretty sick jump, but he's incapable of performing a sick jump.
Yeah.
So that one didn't count either.
Yeah, we only saw the end of it too, so it's like, can you trust it?
Yeah, exactly. Come on. So then you continue through the trailer, and then in the last frame of the Amy performs a perfect sick jump.
So
bringing total the 6 sick jumps.
So for someone listening at home, if they wanted to aspire to a sick jump, Amy's jump at the end was the sickest jump.
It was a perfect jump.
Damn. And that's during the
and that's the end of the trailer. So
I want to point out
sick jump.
To listeners, I'm watching the 30-second launch, the 29-second launch trailer. Amy's jump at the end is all of like 1 frame off the ground.
I told you, it's 1 frame.
It does say, the thing is like there's a little blue pad where she jumps, and when she jumps, the text perfect comes up.
Yeah, and there's like a 0 out of 6, and in the last frame it ticks to 1 out of 6.
Oh my god, so funny.
So there you go.
I want to talk about like this launch trailer is like a bunch of people in an airport playing Switch together.
Things that would never ever happen.
Things that would never happen. And also, like, I guess that at one point it looks like they have the Switch hooked up to a TV. Like the airport staff were like, "Yeah, you can do that." That would also never happen. 6 sick jumps means Tony wins the bet. Also, I don't know if this was like the grand design.
No, I had no idea what any of the numbers were until you said them a few minutes.
Sure, that's fair. But that brings Team Bat to Bust a Bet up to 29 points. Team Doubling Down 24 points.
I was actually very surprised listening to what you guys bet, that you guys only bet like 0 or 1.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
By previous,
thought you'd be more frugal with your.
Yeah,
I was pretty strict.
You
There
were
are
pretty
a
strict.
lot of jumps in this trailer.
Yeah.
Only 6 of them are.
To be fair,
by previous standards, it would have been 0.
I'm gonna go frame by frame again and count total jumps and give you a ratio of jumps to sick jumps.
I appreciate your thought process on this. You put a lot of care into it. Nabashin texted us the trailer on like Tuesday, and Tony's like, "I've come to a decision."
All I'm saying is, in the first first 2 seconds of gameplay, there are 8.
Yeah.
And out of 29 seconds of gameplay, I picked 7 or 6.
Yeah. All right. You know, that's fair. Again, I like the reasoning. I appreciate it. That's it for the show. So we'll be off next week. We'll be back again. Is it the week after Thanksgiving week? I think it is. Might not be because Halloween was on a Thursday this year, so it's normally later in the year because of that. Let me see. Next Thursday is not Thanksgiving, so the week before Thanksgiving, and we'll go from there. So thanks everybody for hanging out, for listening. Thanks, Tony, for your painstaking attention to detail with this bet. I appreciate you. Thank you, Scott, Tony, Namshin, for joining me. As always, I love you boys very much. You make my Saturdays and
I
Sundays
performed
better.
a rough count.
Yeah.
39 jumps performed in the trailer.
6 to 39 is a good ratio. That's like a 1 in 5. 1 in 6.
So about 15% of jumps are sick.
Studies have shown that 15% of jumps, 100% of jumps made by Amy in that trailer are sick, though. So
that's true.
Think about
actually,
it.
both times she jumped, they were sick.
Yeah, Amy's got something. She got the magic feet. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of 2-Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Thanks everybody who come hang out and tuned in and said hi. Appreciate you all. Thanks everybody checking this out later as well. I have been Alex O'Neill, your host this evening. Play your games, stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
I see some titles here.
Titles?
So we got. They're all shit that I said.
So good, Tony heavy. Although was Nabashin, were you the person that said my queen with me?
No, that was me.
That was you. Okay, I couldn't.
I was going to say it, but I thought it was too dumb to say. But you both beat me too.
So funny. I appreciate that.
So
Tony.
we got make that bread. Lebrian. And I think this is supposed to be friendship ended with Aurelian soul.
Aurelian.
Oh, I thought you said champion. My bad.
My queen, and 15% of jumps are sick.
I like my queen for the moment that we shared, Tony.
I'm down.
That was really funny. I'll say the episode number. What's it? 447, and then we can all just say my queen together. I think that would be fun. You guys ready?
Sure.
I guess I didn't take a vote. That was.
Are you sure as fuck didn't?
I spaced out. I spaced out. I'm sorry. Scott, what do you like? Do you like any of these titles that aren't my queen?
Friendship ended.
Friendship ended was also good. Tony, what do you like?
I like all of them.
Yeah, of course. Do you have like one that you would want to pick?
Nope. I like them all about 20%.
Got it. The 6 jump one, actually, you like 15%. Give something else a little extra love. Nabashin, what do you like?
I like the 15%.
Now we're split. Tony, you gotta be our deciding factor between friendship.
15%.
15%. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. Then somebody else say the number or episode title. I'll say the number. It's what 447. I see. Even I don't know anymore. You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 447.
My queen. 15% of these jumps are sick.
I'm putting all that in there. I'm going to take when you said my queen and then take when Tony and I both said my queen, and we'll just layer them on top. I might not do that. That's it. That's the show. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night.